Rule 1, always lock your house up when the sun goes down. My town has an urban legend that has been passed down for decades now, dating back to the Great Depression. From this urban legend, everyone in town has become great at locking their windows and keeping doors shut during the night. It is said that if you keep your window open or a slight crack in the door, the click-clacker will crawl its way into your home. I grew up here and have gotten used to my parents going around every night locking every window and door. It was automatic and they tried their best to ingrain it into my skull just in case if they ever had to leave me home alone overnight. Now I never saw the click-clacker but only ever heard the rumors at school about it. Some said it had an ugly human form but its skin had a zipper stitched into it that supposedly went up the side of its face. The zipper wrapped around the thing's deformed body and that's why they call it the click-clacker, because that was the sound it supposedly makes when it's crawling on the floor or brushing against your window sill. Even the thought of the thing scared me to death every time I heard about it. Just imaging skin being held together by a zipper that would clack against the floor as it crawled towards you. Ain't nothing worse than that. My fear of the thing only grew as I got older and got into middle school, where the rumors of the click-clacker grew to such a point that kids were trying to test if it was true or not. However, the police found out about them and they were all arrested. Their parents were enraged when they found out about their plan because they knew how stupid it was. It's illegal in my town to walk around the streets at night and to also leave open your windows and doors at night because of this stupid urban legend that has everyone so scared. I wish I could go and have sleepovers with my friends, but my parents, in their own words, said, "Don't want to risk it." Again, I've lived here my whole life and made it to middle school without seeing a sign of the click-clacker even once, but my town is filled with paranoia about it. My parents are leaving me home alone tonight because they are going on their first honeymoon without me. Since I'm 14, they think I'm old enough to stay home and know all the rules regarding locking up the house. It doesn't matter how old I am, I'm tired of living in fear of something that the adults could have all easily made up to scare children to not leaving the house at night and making sure to keep everything locked up. Tonight is when I'm going to test to see if this click-clacker thing really is real, and I've been mentally creating a plan to safely do that. If the thing can't break through a simple glass window or wood door to get into a house, then it shouldn't be able to break through the bathroom door, which I plan to be hiding behind. So when my parents kissed me goodbye in the evening before they drove off, I was already prepared to encounter the beast. With a simple camera, I was going to get proof of the thing, even if it was probably most likely all made up. So that night, as the sun was falling down, I opened up one window that was on the side of the house, but not too much because I didn't want to freeze. Then I set up my camera so it would be able to view the window and record if something crawls through it. After completing these two parts of my plan, I went and sat at the wooden table while eating some frosted flakes. It was then that I heard something slam on the side of the house. With so much force, the noise caused me to knock over my bowl of cereal. Glancing outside, I noticed that the sun hadn't gone down yet, but nonetheless I ran to the bathroom, slamming the door as I entered. As I intensely listened to the sounds coming from outside, I heard the crunching of leaves and my heart pumped ferociously. I then heard someone knocking on the door. Still scared to death, I shuffled over and opened it to find my neighbor Phil with his hands on his hips. "You left a window open past the required time to close it. Your parents were smart to have me check to see if you locked the place up." "Oh really?" I thought. "For sure I locked everything up?" I said, trying to act innocent. "Well, you need to double check everything just in case, because you never know. Anyway, I wish you well and don't stir up too much trouble with your parents being out and all," Phil said as he turned and walked to his own home. I closed the door but observed him from across the street for a little bit to see if he was going to come back. He wasn't, as I saw the shades in his window light up from the TV screen inside. So I decided to clean up the spilled cereal and finish eating. When I finished that, the sun had gone down and I was ready to reenact the plan. So opening the window again, I poked my head out to see if everyone was around, but luckily everyone had already sheltered into their homes. Leaving the window open, I went to the family room to play some video games to kill the time. About 40 minutes and the TV began flicker. It was strange because it had never done that before, but I tried to continue to play, but the music turned distorted and then so high-pitched that the speakers blew out. Falling off the couch due to how abruptly the TV sound cut out caused my heart to race, as the sound was so high-pitched that the neighbors had to have heard that, and I was not about to get another talking to by Phil. I expected someone to come and knock on the door, but no one ever came. That's when the light bulb above me grew so bright that I was completely blinded by it until the fuse popped, leaving the family room in darkness. Then the kitchen light followed and every other light in the house except the one from the hallway close to where I left the window open. I couldn't directly see the window, but I was sure glad. In shock, I heard the sound of a zipper clacking against glass. In my heart, I knew what was making it, and so quickly I darted to the bathroom and locked the door. Like before, I was listening to every sound that echoed from the hall. I now understood why everyone in town was freaked out by this urban legend, because it was true, or someone was playing an elaborate prank on me. Whatever was outside finally made it past the window as I heard it thump against the floor like a piece of dead meat. The tile caused its clacking to grow as it seemed to drag itself across the floor with heavy breathing. The wooden bathroom door had a small crack in it that was there before we bought it, and so I peeked through. I didn't see anything but a sort of pale darkness with a bright white dot in it, but that's when I heard the zipper rub against the door I was next to, creating a terrifying sound. Bouncing back, I realized that thing was looking back at me. I was mentally freaking out as the clacking sounds grew as it tried to break through the door. I jumped in the bathtub and drew the curtain so at least the thing would not be able to see me. All through the night, it was crawling around trying to get to me, traumatizing me to this day of hearing any sharp and subtly pointed sounds. Laying in the tub regretting everything I've done, I hear the clacking suddenly stop and a scratchy muttering voice whispered, "You're mine, you just don't know it yet." Then the thing began to crawl back away to the window, but I didn't move a muscle as I heard it leave, pondering on the eerie words it left me with. In the morning when the sun was brightly shining, I opened the door to find streaks of blood that were spread across the floor. I now understood why everyone in town was so afraid of that thing. After gazing at the damages to the TV, speakers, and lights, I knew my parents weren't going to be happy with me when they got back. So I spent the day cleaning everything until it was night again. I made sure to lock the entire house tonight. That's when I remembered that I left the camera recording the night, and so I watched the film, horrified to see the creature come into my house and how disturbing it looked. I zoomed through the tape but never saw the point where it actually left. My heart began rushing as I frantically kept scrolling through the tape but not finding a single time it left the house. It was then I heard the attic door creak slowly open, followed by the click-clacking